Welcome to another listen of Where Silence Has Something to Say. We are nearing the final threads in this woven tapestry of Shalom. And today we pause to reflect on perfectness, the 12th attribute of Shalom. Perfectness is not random. It is intricate and intentional, like a sacred design hidden in plain sight. Every piece, every shift, every turn, every square, even every still moment matters. Shalom, in its purest form, doesn't just hold peace. It holds a pattern of wholeness, a pattern of timing, and a pattern of being brought to completion. Sometimes the pattern looks like progress. Other times it looks like waiting. But in the hands of the designer, even misalignment becomes part of the movement towards perfectness. So let's breathe, let's listen, and let's discover the quiet wisdom within the pattern of perfectness. In Western thought, perfection often means flawlessness. No blemish, no error, no need for correction. It's a static ideal, rigid and unreachable. And from this perspective, perfection becomes pressure, and pressure becomes performance. But in Hebraic imagination, perfectness isn't about flawlessness. It's about fullness, completeness. It's maturity, not mistake-free living. It's about something or someone being brought to its intended purpose, aligned with the workmanship of its creator. The Hebrew word often translated as perfect is tamim. It means whole, complete, sound, intact, functioning according to design. So when we speak of the perfectness of Shalom, we're not chasing an ideal of being without error. That's a Western lens. We're following the pattern that was woven into us from the beginning. A Hebraic lens sees perfectness not as flawlessness, but as wholeness when we function according to the design of our Creator. Perfectness is when we move in sync with our design, when our life, our choices, and our stillness flow in harmony with His purpose. That's the pattern of perfectness. Shalom in every space. Now, let's examine 4 areas where this pattern shows up. In creation, in Torah, our covenant instructions, and in spirit. Even in the unexpected. A colored cube that reveals its perfectness only through alignment. In creation, let's look at Psalms chapter 19, verses 1 through 3. I call this the silent pattern. The heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Wow! What kind of perfectness communicates the same message across language, culture, and time without a sound? The perfectness pattern is already in motion. We witness it via the sky, the sun, the stars. They move in harmony. They declare without dividing. The next place we see this pattern is found in our covenant instructions, Torah. In Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7, I call this the restoration pattern. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The covenant instruction, Torah, doesn't just instruct, it restores the pattern. It returns us to design, to intention, to alignment. The perfectness is already alive in the Word. We return to it. The covenant instruction, Torah, the truth, the testimony, they speak in harmony. They restore without dividing. What kind of perfectness converts a lost soul and draws it back into design? And here in spirit, Acts chapter 2, verse 11, which I call the living pattern, reads, "We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of Elohim." The Ruach Spirit comes, and people from every nation, tribe, and tongue are gathered. Different languages, different lives, but one message heard clearly, understood deeply, without confusion. That's not randomness. That's not chaos. That's perfectness in its utopia. Heaven's pattern manifested on earth. The perfectness is already alive in the spirit. We respond to it. The wind, the fire, the voice, they fall in unity. They speak in power. They gather without dividing. What kind of perfectness echoes throughout a city in many languages, yet speaks one truth? And finally, there's a pattern even in what looks like confusion. I call this a fluid pattern. Think of a Rubik's Cube. That's right. Every square has a color and placement, but only when each part aligns with design does the pattern emerge. The cube doesn't become perfect by being flawless. It becomes perfect when every twist, every turn, every piece is aligned with intent. Remember the Hebrew word tamim, often translated as perfect, means functioning according to design. It aligns without dividing. And in the same way, Shalom's perfectness isn't a state we strive to create. It's a reality we return to, square by square, piece by piece, when we submit to the design of the Creator. That's what the heavens are doing day after day. That's what our covenant instruction does within us. That's what the Ruach reminds us. They bring us into pattern, into alignment, into shalom, perfectness in every square. So, what if we let patience have her perfect work, that we may be perfect and entire, lacking nothing? Maybe that's what Apostle James meant by perfect and entire, lacking nothing. The pattern completed, every square in place, every twist restored, every color aligned, not flawless, but faithful to design. Until next time, take a breath, let the heavens declare His glory, let our covenant instruction, Torah, restore your soul. Let the Ruach Spirit speak in unity, and let the pieces settle into place. And there you'll find perfectness, where silence has something to say.